Hi, I'm Greg Klee, Director of Admissions at Chaminade, and we are back with another episode of Becoming an Eagle. This week, learning a little bit more about academics, I'm sitting down with Daniel Rios. Daniel, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Greg.
Daniel, you're the Vice Principal for Academics and Curriculum. What exactly are you responsible for around here?
So I'm responsible for the academic programs as a whole. Anything going on with classes we offer, student experience, some of the technicals about technology, what we use as our learning management system, grading. I'm kind of the catch-all for all those things.
And what might a parent contact you for during the school year? What are the kinds of things you deal with?
Yeah, parents have a lot of questions about the types of classes their students can take, their path over the course of the 4 years. They might have technology questions about the type of assignments they're getting and where those live. And so I fill those questions, and if they have questions about grades, I'm also there for them as well.
So kind of supplementing the relationship that the students are going to have with their counselor.
Absolutely. I support with counseling quite a bit.
Great. You mentioned an LMS, our learning management system, Canvas. Primarily a student system, but really, what is an LMS? Most of our partner schools don't have full-blown learning management systems.
Yeah, learning management systems are great tools to supplement the student experience in class. It's where they would find most of their resources. It's where they would locate their performance and their grades. It's also keeping them abreast of what's coming down the road. And what's really great about Canvas learning management system, which we really chose with a lot of thought and a lot of partnership, is an ability for parents to have that similar experience and have that kind of access in ways that they didn't before.
So not just a student system, but something a parent can also access.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to sending out information so parents can log on and have their own account. And Canvas has apps for your phone as well, so it's easy access, and they'll be able to really get into what their student is experiencing on a day-to-day basis.
So the student's going to use that to interact in class with the curriculum, but the parent is going to use that to track grades or contact teachers, things like that?
Right. At this stage in the student's career, we have parents that obviously are helping us and partnering with us to guide their students. And so that type of transparency is really helpful in making sure that they can effectively address things and support us.
And there's lots of learning management systems in the world. How did we arrive at Canvas? What was the thing that really was our tipping point for that?
Yeah, I think what really jumped out at us is that as a college preparatory school, we want to prepare students for what they're going to experience at the next level. And so Canvas represents the largest platform used at colleges and universities around the country. It is the one that is used at all colleges and universities in California.
So college prep in big and small ways make that next step a little bit easier for our kids.
Absolutely. We model every day in the classroom and even with our technology.
That is an amazing aspect to what we do here, right? Not just prepping kids in the biggest ways, but even down to the learning management system.
Right. Even with all the classes we offer, all the technologies we use, we have an eye towards how do we prepare students for the next level.
Right. So another area that you are responsible for here at Chaminade that you mentioned earlier, scheduling. Schedules come out in July. We gave you requests in April. What takes so long to make those schedules?
Right. As a large school, we have a lot of requests, a lot of moving parts, and quite frankly, we really need to see final grades, which don't come out until June, in order to really properly place students in the courses that they need and make sure they're prepared appropriately and the schedule fits. So all of that triangulation plus bringing in new ninth graders rising into the school creates the situation where we need time and we need to make sure we do it right and do it once. And that allows us to do that, which leads to schedules coming out in July.
And just the math behind that, you mentioned the size of our school. 1,250 students, 7 classes each, plus alternates. You're talking 14,000 requests?
Right. Even with technology and the assistance we have, it still requires manpower hours that really create the best schedule.
Yeah, I think do it once and do it right is probably the way to go with that.
Always.
So you're a veteran educator. You're our vice principal for academics. Do you have one piece of advice for a new student coming into Chaminade that would help them be successful in their Chaminade career?
Absolutely. I mean, coming into a new school is daunting. We have characteristics of Marianist education, and one of those that I love is the idea of adaptability and change. So students coming in really experiencing, understanding, and being willing to say yes, to make adjustments, to pivot adapt and change in the ways that are going to help them be successful here.
So to be willing to get out there and take the risk and get involved.
Absolutely.
Okay, super. Well, Daniel, thank you for joining us today. Appreciate your time. And thank you for tuning back in again this week. I'm Greg Klee, Director of Admissions. We're glad you picked Chaminade. Go Eagles.